Mais quel chaval,
Inspecteur Gadget.
ça va être la joie. Au nom de ma loi, moi je vous arrête. Je vous charrette là. Et bienvenue pour la suite de Call of Cthulhu. Dans le chapitre 6 de Madame Hawkins, Pierce s'est réveillé dans un asile installé dans les sous-sols de l'Institut Riverside. Il a rencontré le docteur Colden, une amie de Bradley, qui l'a aidé à s'échapper. En errant dans les couloirs de cet endroit où le docteur Fuller règne en maître, Pierce a pu parler à un homme nommé Francis Sander, avant de mourir sous les yeux du détective. Il a accusé Sarah Hawkins d'être responsable de ses tourments. Pierce a finalement quitté Londres maudit en compagnie de Bradley Colden. Les compagnons d'infortune décident d'utiliser le manoir Hawkins comme planque. Voilà où on en était. Bon, je vais vous passer ça parce qu'on l'avait déjà vu.
Who goes there?
Et donc voilà pour un épisode en plus. Alors j'ai besoin de boire un verre, on va pas le faire. En tout cas si on peut choisir, on ne le fera pas. On ne le fera point.
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
On a encore des choses à me dire.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Bah pas ouf quoi.
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Sarah Hawkins fait l'objet d'un culte. Score insuffisant d'occultisme. J'ai peut-être une piste. Parler à Golden, parler à Bradley. Ce qu'ils m'ont fait subir. Parler à Bradley. Vous avez pourtant vu Charles vivant. Vous êtes vous et le docteur Golden, vous êtes ensemble. Ça, on s'en bat les couilles un peu leur vie. Attends. Pour tester, on va essayer, on va tester notre.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Votre mémoire vous semble
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
the rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
D'accord. Sarah Hawkins a été interné. J'ai vu des cadavres. Que dites-vous de cette ordonnance? Il y a beaucoup de choses avec
I found
Golden.
a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
I found this at the Hawkins house. The doses seem insane.
Barbiturates. But these doses...
What do you mean?
Half the island is under treatment. What is prescribed here, however, is enough to knock out an ox.
Fuller wrote this prescription to fool everyone into believing she was mad.
Or perhaps her husband wrote it.
Perhaps Charles and Dr. Fuller were in league.
A conspiracy. How dreadful.
Effectivement.
Dr.
J'avais des
Fuller seems
cadavres.
to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes, I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
Ok. Donc là pour l'instant, on a bien vu. Alors par contre, ça m'embête que je puisse pas parler d'occulte et de soins.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
Et il l'appelait le vagabond.
I didn't see what, but something was there.
On porte pour un timbré, hein.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Restons prudents, vaut mieux affronter la vérité. Je pense qu'il faut rester prudent, parce que c'est quand même Irene Sanders qui a envoyé son mari voir Muller. Et je sais pas, je sens en sorte de genre, vu qu'il était collectionneur d'art et beaucoup d'argent, il se peut que c'est elle qui va exprès l'envoyer avec Monsieur Muller pour cobaye. Et comme ça, elle a raflé tout l'argent avec les collections d'art qu'il avait. Donc, vaut mieux rien lui dire, parce que sinon, si elle est vraiment avec Muller et Hawkins, enfin avec Charles, elle pourrait tout leur balancer et dire hey, en fait, le détective, il a compris ça sur nous, tout ça. Donc, on va mieux rester prudent.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death.
Alors en plus, ça affecte mon destin, donc.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Alors en plus, du coup, ça affecte mon destin, donc je sais pas dans quel sens, bien sûr. c'est pas un bon, hein. Mais pour moi, c'était peut-être la meilleure solution à faire. Partir. Beth. Résidence des Sanders. Pierce, Colden et Bradley sont en prison liés par l'affaire Sarah Hawkins. Ils décident de suivre la piste de Francis Sanders, collectionneur d'art et ami de la peintre. Bord sous les yeux de Pierce, ce dernier se rend à sa demeure pour interroger sa veuve sur le vagabond dont le malheureux a parlé avant de mourir. Tout ceci est bien étrange. Une étrange affaire. Une affaire qui est taillée pour moi. Ah putain. Bon, on va rentrer dans la folie.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may.
Elle va pouvoir être plus inquiète
However,
que ça.
before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
Hier, comment elle le sait?
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here.
Alors voici Kate.
You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who
Ah,
hired you?
j'aurais
I
raison de
spoke
me
to
méfier quand même.
Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
Il est mort hurlant en soumission. J'étais plus là quand c'est arrivé. Vous le prenez plutôt bien. Score suffisant. On va faire de la psychologie.
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But
Mais c'est vrai
from
qu'elle
what
le
I
prend
saw,
plutôt bien quand même.
it
Hein.
was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
It's terrible what happened to your husband, but I had nothing to do with it. I was injured, and I came across him in the hospital quite by chance.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see you in such fine fettle, Detective. Not everybody enjoyed such a prompt recovery.
I suppose Fuller does do miracles now and again.
Luck is obviously very kind to you. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor?
Un peu
Shambler, to use his precise terms.
Petite interruption.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage.
D'accord, donc vaguement
I suppose I have nothing to
un
lose.
tableau.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
D'accord.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
De Sarah Hawkins aux côtés des époux Sander. Ils devaient être proches. Hop, le pouvoir de l'imagination. Un thé. Sûrement un thé au citron.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close.
Un thé proche.
Friends, even?
Effectivement. Qu'est-ce que le...
A house of artists. A house of artists.
Artiste, oui.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom?
Psychologie.
She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why?
What?
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Je dois voir le vagabond. Par contre, je ne sais pas pourquoi Kat est là. Et ça, c'est un vrai problème.
Let's see
ça.
what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Sien de Francis Sanders. Un enregistrement audio de Francis Sanders a laissé à sa femme Irène. Ça pourrait être sympa. Objet majeur obtenu. Écoutons ça.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids. Each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
D'accord, on peut mettre 15 cylindres à la fois dedans. Referme-moi la porte derrière nous. Tandis que là, il y a 4. Une question anatomique. Nous sommes à 32%. Mais ça ne nous arrange pas non plus. En force, on s'en fiche. Nos chances de découvrir des objets dissimulés, un objet non découvert. Alors normalement j'avais déjà mis les points, mais pour aucune raison que je sache, apparemment c'est n'avait pas remis. Donc et là on va remettre un point en psychologie, parce que c'est important pour moi. Lire le livre. Ceci avec vos destins. Quoi? Mais c'est juste un livre. C'est une sorte d'obscurité créatures monstrueuses inconnues. Je commence à croire qu'elles existent. Le Malleus Bestiarium. Volume 2. Ok, j'ai progression d'occultisme, mais apparemment c'était pas une bonne idée. Force. La force permet aussi d'ouvrir des trucs comme ça. Clé de la galerie des Sanders.
An old diary.
Journal d'un révérend. Un vieux journal. Ce volume s'attarde sur la communauté du révérend Wickwood. Son épouse exprime son inquiétude concernant les étranges rêves que font les ouailles du révérend depuis leur arrivée sur l'île. Certains membres de leur communauté, son mari inclus, commençaient à parler de leur vision d'une entité qu'ils considéraient comme un envoyé de Dieu. Elle craint qu'elle ne subisse le même sort que la tribu disparue. Compliqué tout ça.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Et effectivement, c'est très bizarre. Je vous supplie d'abandonner tout espoir d'obtenir un jour cette toile maudite. Si notre amitié compte autant un temps soit peu à vos yeux, épargnez-moi le poids de la culpabilité. Je ne peux pas être l'architecte de votre chute. Je vous en supplie, mon très cher ami, oubliez le vagabond. Et il a voulu absolument avoir le vagabond quand même. Et là, il y a des somnifères, je crois.
I could use one of those.
Baleine et morue. La baleine et la morue, ou une brève histoire de l'île Darkwater par Erwan Greenmouth. Elle est centrée sur la gloire du passé de l'île. D'accord. Pas sûr que ça puisse m'aider plus que ça.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
J'ai beaucoup
Some
de
can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Je vais vérifier les toiles pour un acheteur.
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network, and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Non.
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Beaucoup de trucs d'art et beaucoup de trucs étranges aussi.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Étrange, étrange. J'ai examiné, hein, mais j'ai juste fait On peut se cacher à l'intérieur. Le vagabond, ça va être le gros
The
truc
man
là-bas.
transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Je regarde s'il n'y a pas des infos qu'on pourrait obtenir comme ça. Un beau lion en or. Magnifique sculpture. Mhm. C'était très chelou ça, d'accord. Ouais. C'est pas méga rassurant.
Why was he so interested in old weapons? Why was he so interested in old weapons?
C'est une bonne question. Hop, on remet un peu d'huile. De l'huile. Je veux vérifier qu'on peut juste rentrer dedans. Voilà, on peut juste rentrer dedans, il n'y a pas autre chose à faire. Allons voir le vagabond. Et je pense qu'on se laissera après si nos sauvegarde est mise. Ouais, il est chaud le vagabond quand même. Hein. What? D'accord. What?
What the hell was that?
Ouais. Ouais. Oh mon dieu. Mais je croyais qu'il avait disparu moi. Oh putain. D'accord. Mauvaise idée. Pas bonne idée. 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 Mauvaise idée. Mauvaise idée. Mauvaise idée. Pas bonne idée. Ouh là 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 là. Je vais passer.
I can't even touch it. Down. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Je vais pas utiliser de dague. Oh. Oh mon dieu. Ah. Ok, excusez-moi. J'avais pas fait exprès.
What the hell was that?
Attendez, c'est quoi? Pourquoi ça a clignoté alors?
That maybe.
Oh non, mais attendez. Oh mon dieu. Oh mon dieu. C'est tellement difficile.
What the hell was that?
Ouais, il y a un truc qui brille là-bas, mais pourquoi ça brille mais... Ah, pourquoi je peux pas le prendre? Oh, ça veut pas le prendre, c'est chiant. Oh non, mais c'est chiant, ça veut pas le prendre. Voilà. Mon dieu, c'est tellement dur. Il est là. Il me suit. Il m'entend, il m'écoute, il me voit. Oh là, Ah, tellement difficile.
Maybe I can use this dagger.
Je pourrais utiliser cette dague, mais comment je l'utilise cette dague? Je fonce sur lui et je lui défonce sa gueule. Oh mon dieu. Ah bon, oui. Mais en fait, j'appuie sur R1 comme si, enfin sur R2 comme si je voulais tirer. Et en fait, compte, ça a pas marché, donc je suis un peu déçu. Bah écoutez, on va se laisser là. Et dans le prochain épisode, on essaiera de trouver comment on peut survivre à ça. Écoutez, dans le prochain épisode, on essaiera de savoir comment on peut survivre à ça. Et voilà. Hein, y a pas de soucis. Sur ce, à la prochaine fois, je vous laisse sur une petite blague. Ok Google, raconte une blague.
Voici une blague bien fraîche. Comment s'appelle un chat tombé dans un pot de peinture le jour de Noël? Un chat peint de Noël.
Voilà. Alors, sur ce, je vous laisse. C'était Cthulhu. À la prochaine pour un prochain épisode.